for the next episode. I can't wait to get home and turn my TV on. I'm ready for the next episode. Got my snap shoes off, my remote control. I'm ready for the next episode.
Hi guys, welcome back to next episode with Nick
and Jess.
And today is our final episode on how to die alone. And I'm really excited because we're going to be talking about, we're going to start the conversation with her romantic journey on the show. And so I'm really, really excited about that.
Yes. Okay. All right. So, romantic journey. So, are we starting with Alex?
Yes, I think we should go in chronological order.
Okay.
So, she meets Alex when she starts working at the airport. He's her manager.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not when she starts working at the airport, when she moves to his department.
Well, she moves to his department, yeah.
And so she's his manager, and they were dating, and it was like pretty hot and heavy. And then, like 3 months in, he tells her that he loves her, and she freaks out.
Yeah.
She freaks out in a way that I have never seen someone freak out before. Mm-hmm. And she essentially tells him that she doesn't want to be in a relationship with him, and that she doesn't have any feelings for him, and that she only is like dating him because he'll touch her.
That was the creepiest statement I've ever heard. I'm like, even if you believe that, you said that out loud.
I was like, what?
Ooh.
And so after that conversation, of course, they break up. And after that conversation, she's talking to Rory, and she's telling him, oh, it was exhausting being that person with him. And in 2 months, he would find out the real me, and he was going to break up with me anyway. So it was better to do it now. That is some of the craziest stuff I have ever heard.
It is. It is. I mean, it's hard to imagine somebody's self-esteem that low. But that's all I hear when she says those words, like you think nothing of yourself. You don't think you deserve anything because this man is very clearly enamored with you.
From the first time he saw her.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, it was very unprofessional, but it was very clear from the first time he saw her that he was like, yeah, I'm about that. And it was more than just physical. He was physically attracted to her. But it was more than just physical.
No, yeah. I think that they have a thing. Like they get along really well. They make sense together for the time at that first time when they got together. You know what I mean? They both seem, the whole exhausting thing is I think her dealing with her negative thoughts, because like they did seem to get each other and work well together. There's a natural rhythm to them.
My question is, why did Rory not say, babe, maybe you should see a therapist? He grew up in a rich white world. I know he knows about therapy.
Mm-hmm. I think part of that, his response to her, and I guess why I'm not so hard on him for his response, is because I think it's how she presented it. You know, like she almost presented it like, oh, he couldn't possibly love me. But like, I don't know that. And I do think like if she had been talking to a woman would have heard it. And was like, that's low self-esteem. I'm not saying like there's something wrong with him, but he took it as like, oh, there's something wrong with him, the way he can't fully see it, the way he responded to it. But again, I think that's how she's presented it, because she's presented it through this lens of low self-esteem. I know you don't agree because you're like, right? But I think a lot of that is how she talked about that breakup. I'm like, it's weird, but her whole issue and reason for breaking up was strange.
It was very weird. It didn't. And so they've broken up, and now 2 years have passed. Mm-hmm. And she finds out on her birthday, which I feel like was shady, that he is getting married on mm-hmm. New Year's, which I don't know what time zone Hawaii is in. Because that was kind of confusing. They say he was getting married on New Year's Day, but on New Year's Eve, the groom was in New York.
Yeah.
She flies out the next morning and says the wedding is tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that definitely was a plot hole. Because I was
Okay.
like, y'all got 2 or 3 days in between New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Even
Okay.
with like so Hawaii, yes, is in a different time zone. It's still a 12-hour flight too. That's the other thing that they said 12-hour flight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how far it is between nothing, but they said in the show it's a 12-hour flight. I'm like, none of this makes sense. Like, even with him purposely missing his flight, which he does later on, I'm like, hey, you're supposed to get married tomorrow. You're going to get there after the wedding. So that doesn't make sense. So I think
Okay.
that was just, yeah, I think that was a mistake.
Okay. Okay. I was like, this is so confusing. And so you can tell as soon as she gets the invitation to Alex's wedding that she's not over him.
Mm,
Which
yeah.
is interesting because you broke up with him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what did you expect him to do? Because she said, "Oh, I thought he would have a rebound. I didn't think he would get married." It's been 2 years.
For 2 years. And the other thing is, like, she made it like, oh, see, I just like I thought he would find something else. Of course, he would find someone else when you left him. But you're making this like, you know what I mean? Like, you're making it seem like this
Mhm.
was that you were right when it was not. You created the situation.
Absolutely. I feel like
Oh, and I'm sorry. New York is 5 hours ahead of Hawaii. I still don't feel like that fixes all the timeline plot holes, but yeah.
that makes it worse.
Okay, so like
Oh
right
no,
now,
hold on. No, maybe, no, it doesn't make it worse.
okay, so right now it is what time for you?
240 something.
two
That's
forty
250,
something.
255.
So it's 9:55 in Hawaii, 9:55 a.m. Sunday morning. I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Okay, it doesn't explain it, but actually doesn't make it worse. But
Okay.
it still does not explain what they
How?
were doing.
Right. No. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. That was
Okay,
bothering
so I think that was really unfair of her
me.
to say, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, I was right," and "Oh, you know what? Like this, the lady that he's with makes more sense because he was very clearly into you and never gave you any indication that he was not." Also, it was only 3 months, man. Like you are still pining over somebody you left that you were only with for 3 months.
Girl. hmm
You know, like that's crazy.
It is crazy. But
Now,
he also never stops flirting with her.
I was going to say, I was about to say, okay, I've discussed all the ways in which well, not all the ways. I'm going to get back to another way in which she was trifling when it comes to Alex. But let's talk about Alex. Yes, every chance he gets, he flirts with her. And it's not, here's the thing, it's not overly overt,
Mm-mm.
but like you can tell they had like inside jokes, and like you said, there was a rhythm on how they talked to each other, and I feel like he exploits that intimacy that they had, and when he talks to her, I feel like he does things to trigger that intimacy,
Yeah. To keep it
which
going.
I would not have an issue with, except for the fact that you're in a new relationship.
You have a whole girlfriend.
You have a whole fiance.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You have a whole fiance.
There's a wedding planned, and but people bought tickets to Hawaii.
Right. And so it's like you are being incredibly inappropriate. You
hmm
are
I do think
not
he's inappropriate.
you are not ready to be marrying somebody else. I'm not saying that because I feel like he should have like been sitting and waiting on Melissa to
hmm
get her stuff together, because I don't think he should. But I think
No,
he never dealt with that situation.
neither one of them is over each other.
But I'm like, so why are you getting married to a woman who the things that he complains about from
hmm
his fiance lets me know that you just married someone who would marry you and not someone that you're actually compatible with,
hmm
because she has strong friendships with her girlfriends, and they go out and they have adventures and they do stuff, and it bothers him.
hmm Yeah.
She's not meek, she's not timid. It about that kind of that he doesn't like that about her, and I'm like, but that's who she is. So why are
Because I
you
don't.
with her?
Yeah, because I don't know that how much he really likes her, and I think she seems like, outside of her trying to like size up Melissa that one time, she's probably a nice, good person. You know,
Here's the thing: what she did with Melissa, there's nothing wrong with that.
the reason why you need to is in your man,
Yes, but
not her.
here's the thing: never forget, she found out about Melissa. She had just found out that Melissa even existed,
Hmm.
right? Then Melissa had spilled to the bride's best friend, not knowing that she was in love with her ex who works with her.
Hmm. And
And
all that being true, your fiance invited his ex to the wedding and didn't tell you it was his ex. You
oh
know,
yeah, no,
your you know what I mean? Like the person, and all of that can be true. Because Melissa could be trifling and really trying to, which I guess she kind of is, trying to get back at him. The person you still need to deal with is the one that you are attached to.
oh 1,000%. But I understand her because she just like let's just get this out the way. You just
Hmm.
told my best friend that you are in love with an ex that you work with. Is it my man?
Hmm.
And Melissa's like, no. She was like, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, she wasn't
Hmm.
overly nasty with her. She was very
No, she
direct,
wasn't.
very straightforward. You know what? And I'm like, you know what? Just for my peace of mind, I don't have an issue because you guess what? You're right there. I'm right here. Let's have a quick conversation. She wasn't like,
Mhm.
you know what I'm
No,
saying?
she
Like,
wasn't nasty. But
she
I'm just
wasn't.
like, but very clearly, you and Alex need to be having some conversations.
They do. Oh no, they absolutely do because like I said, Alex complains about who she is to Melissa, and it's just a core of who she is.
Yeah,
She is a
it's not.
like
It's nothing bad.
right. She's just like a fun-loving, energetic. She has friends, and if you think about how Melissa is when they are together,
Hmm.
that's not, it's the opposite. Melissa did not have a lot of friends. She pretty much only had Rory. She was not
Roy and
adventurous.
him,
She didn't go anywhere. She didn't do anything.
her
And
whole world
that
was
is
tied up in the two of them.
right. And that's what he likes, that kind of woman.
Ooh.
So now he has somebody.
I don't think that's why I don't want them to end up together either. I don't
That's
think
what
he can do
I
anything.
said. Remember I
I don't want
told
them,
you off
yeah.
camera.
But
I
no,
said they're not compatible because
I agree with you. I agree with you. Well, I think they could have. It would have probably been. Honestly, now like it would have been unhealthy. I don't know how much growth she would have been done in that relationship.
exactly. They are not for who she wants to be because at the time when they are together initially, the person she is not the person she wants to be. The
Hmm.
person that she wants to be is not compatible with Alex.
Hmm.
Alex is to me, you know how they have like those trash bags that are like floral scented or minty scented to hide the smell of the garbage?
Yeah.
That's what he's a bag of that. Like it smells nice. You know what I mean? But it's he's actually garbage.
Oh wow. Okay.
Hmm. He
Okay.
is because like you've proposed to this woman. The
Yeah.
entire time though, you're being overly familiar with your ex.
Who you
You're
work with every
flirting
day does not
right.
know exist.
You're flirting with her.
Hmm.
And then, so to fast forward to the end of the show, he's supposed to get on the plane to go to Hawaii for his wedding, and he intentionally misses his flight. Now, what he tells Melissa is that he talks about how the wife is flying out early so her and her girlfriends can have one last girl trip before, the wedding. And he's like, oh, with her cousins. And he's like, I mean, I know it's small, but it's a problem. If you missed your flight
Hmm.
because
Well,
you're
that's the
upset.
other. Yeah, no, no, no. You missed your flight, which also to me sets up with them. So, like, you got this whole big wedding planned in Hawaii. Why aren't you there early to help set anything up? You know
Right.
what I
I
mean?
did not understand that either.
Instead, you playing with your old girlfriend over ice. Like,
So
and I'm telling you, if I found that out, and I don't know that she will ever find that out, but if I find that out, we're gonna have issues and complications.
here, okay, so let's set the scene.
Mm-hmm.
The Thai restaurant that he and Melissa both frequent often. Melissa introduced him to the restaurant, but it's a place that they frequent often.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting food. Melissa's already there. At this point in the story, Melissa has decided that she's going to confess her feelings to Alex, and she's going to do it at his wedding, which I have a huge problem with, but we can address it after this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they meet at they end up running into each other at the restaurant, and they then have the most intimate date ever. Let's
Yes.
just call it what it is. They're eating together. He's talking to her about his problems and all the things that his future wife does that he doesn't like. They go shopping. They're like two kids in a candy store out on the night. Like they're just having so much fun. They go ice skating without ice skates. I don't know how they did that, but they did. Like there were just all of these like longing looks, long stares, and close touches. And I feel like Melissa was reading the signals correctly. She
She
kisses
was.
him.
She was. She was. That's the part where I'm like, you gonna pretend like you have not been flirting with this girl all night, and you didn't bring up the fact that you all broke her bed, and to act all flabbergasted when she kissed you. When she kissed you, you was dropping hints like bombs. You was,
When she kissed him, he absolutely freaked out as if it came out of nowhere.
hmm
But then after that, says, "Oh, you know what? If you want to be with me, then tell me that you love me."
hmm
And I'm like, she can't. And I'm like, wait a minute, if she would have told you that she loved you,
were you gonna
what
call
was
off the
that?
whole wedding? Because
What?
your fiance already over there and your family. The only person that's not at your wedding is you.
Right. And that's why I said he is a bag of garbage that smells like Febreze. But he's
hmm
ultimately a bag of garbage. Now, I would also like to talk about Melissa in this moment is also a bag of garbage. The reason why is you professed your love for this man, and your plan was to do it at his wedding, which
What your friends talk you down from.
if her cousins would have beat your behind, I would not have even felt bad for you. I would not have felt bad for you.
I
You
mean,
know,
what they supposed to do? But beat your, you know what?
and so she, in that moment, she's kissed him. She's confessed that she still has feelings for him, and he looks her dead in the face and says, "Okay, well, do you love me?" And then she's like, "Oh,
And she,
I, I can't say that." What were you doing when you were sussing out your feelings and all of these longings and sleepless nights because you can't stop thinking about him? You didn't think about, oh, well, last time he told me he loved me and that was a problem. You didn't think about, like, maybe I need to figure out how I actually feel about him.
because like at this point, like it's probably more comfortable. She's in love with the idea of him. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like she spent 3 years reminiscing over those 3 months, and then having these moments where they kind of flirt with each other in the office. He's become an idea. The confronting the reality of him is where she still has a problem.
And I know, in an earlier episode, we talked about how healing is not linear, but that situation is, I know we've been using this word a lot, but it is what it is. It's very toxic
Mhm.
because they're stuck in this weird like loop
Right.
where, oh, I want to be with you when you don't want to be with me. I want to, and back and forth and back and forward.
Well, both of
But
you are
like,
still stuck in these 3 months. Like y'all, neither of you have let go of that 3 month period that you
right.
were.
But meanwhile, he's pulled another person in
Mm-hmm.
and she is playing games.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're so obsessed with him, but you don't know if you love him.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them need to be in a relationship at this time with anybody.
Mm-hmm. And I do think it's more of an obsession. Her things with Alice is more of an obsession than love. You're
It is.
fixated on him.
She
You're not.
is.
Yeah.
because she sees the Febreze garbage bag and not the garbage inside.
Oh my god.
Because I want to compare him with Terrence. And so,
Terrence.
although I saw it in the first episode, in the
Absolutely.
first episode, the first interaction, I
Yeah. First.
said, "Oh my god, he likes her." Like they
Mhm.
were talking, they were sitting there talking, and you see him like scoot closer to her,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Oh my god, he likes her." And even throughout the series, you see him dating other people, but he always kind of has his eye on her. But the
Mhm.
way that he approaches her, it's he's always like coming in and trying to lift her up,
Mhm.
and he is trying to affirm her. And it's not that Alex doesn't do that too, because he writes Alex writes her a glowing recommendation,
Yeah.
you know.
He said.
But
Yeah.
everything that he does, it seems draped in their relationship, in their past relationship. It
Mhm.
wasn't like, to me, like that recommendation was almost a love letter. It just like I just every like anytime anytime Alex talks to her, even if he's affirming her, it's just dripped in flirtation. And that
Mhm.
it wasn't like that with Terrence. Like a
Mhm.
lot of times, like Terrence was speaking life into her insecurities, like
Mhm.
helping her to like move past them and just telling her, it's like Terrence is helping her to become the person she wants to be. And Alex is looking for the person that she was.
Mhm. I can see that. I can see
And
that.
so as the series goes on, you see like the Terrence's feelings for her become more clear, and the
Mhm.
way that he manifests those feelings is just with like that support for
Mhm.
her goals and that encouragement. And I
Mhm.
love it. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
And even like Terrence sees her hung up on Alex. You know what I mean? And I
Oh,
was like, oh, that hurts me.
after the simulation where she walks off with Alex and you see his face crack. Oh, that was hard. That
Yeah,
was
and
so hard. I was like, I felt so bad for him because I was like, girl,
yeah,
this he is girl.
she's
He
looking.
organized this whole thing just to get you on this plane.
That would have been it for me.
You know, that might have been it for me too. And I'm a tough nut to crack. But but that was beautiful.
It, you know what? Like, you know how like if a man wants to do a romantic gesture, like they'll bring you some chocolates or a bouquet of flowers, like very like generic.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I tell you, like creating that simulation, like it was just like the most beautiful, like specialized
Yeah.
show of love. And
And
I'm
yeah,
like,
for
oh
her.
my,
And that he knows
right.
it.
Yes, I'm like, girl, why are you looking in the past? Like you're running off. And why did Alex show? There was no reason for Alex to show up there.
At the end, because you didn't actually do anything.
He did not. He did not. He did
Except for
not.
I guess you let Patty off work so that she could drive her over there. But like
Like, ugh, I
he
was
didn't
so
do nothing. He
frustrated.
show up and take credit. Oh,
Right? He's like, oh, I had to be there for you. And I'm like, you.
girl,
Oh,
them sizing each other up at her graduation.
yeah.
That was hilarious to me.
Because Terrence is not crazy.
No, he ain't.
Terrence is like, why? There's no reason for you to be here. Like, why are you here? Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? But once again, Alex is inserting himself in her life because I
Mhm.
think he heard that she had dated somebody else. Like when
He
with,
did. Because you know the
and so
girlfriend
he
told
right. So he's trying to suss out what's going on and who
him
she's
who's he
dating.
dating. Mm-hmm.
You have a wedding planned in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
Like, back off of her. You know, and I so I was very frustrated because I feel like the show poses Alex as a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and even I feel like the show positions him as her dream man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm just like, no, he is garbage.
Mm-hmm.
He is garbage with a bow on top. It's Terrence.
Oh, it's definitely Terrence. It's Terrence for me. All the
Like
way.
it, she talks about the entire show, how nobody knows her, how nobody sees her. He sees her,
Yeah.
good and bad. He's trying to help her stop smoking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he really cares. He cares.
It's a good delicate balance between him supporting and uplifting her and then also calling her on her crap when she needs to be called on her crap.
Yes, he
And it's
does.
all done in a very gentle way. You know, he's not harsh with her, but at the same time, he'd be like,
But once again, he's only holding her accountable to what she says that she wants.
she wants to
He's
do.
not holding, he's not like, I think you should be this kind of person, and these are the things that you should do to be the kind of person I want you to be. He's
Mhm.
like, this is who you say that you want to be. And you're now she's looking back and saying, I can't be that person. He's like, oh no, you can. I see
Mhm.
it in you. Let me help you bring it out. You know what I mean? Like he's gentle parenting her into
Mhm.
the person that she wants to be, but it's not in a way that's infantilizing.
Yes, yes, I
I
agree.
love it. I love it. And once again, it a lot of times when it comes with her and Alex, it's very much her and Alex.
Mhm.
With Terrence rallies everybody
He's a
around
part of her
to
community.
support her. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's not if they ever got together, it would not be just the two of them in a wind tunnel
in
staring
a
into a
dark corner
you
hiding.
know,
Yeah. Hmm.
he would add to her life, not be her life. Alex
Well,
wants
you
to
know,
be someone's life.
yeah, you know, it is all the way. It is Terrence for me. That's who I want her to be with. I do not want her to get with Alex. I don't think. I think you're right. And talking to you, I feel stronger about it than I did. I think seeing it because I didn't think of Alex as a bad guy. I just felt like they missed their moment. But I do see some things that I didn't see before, and how much he doesn't like the girlfriend. I think I missed that. Like I felt like he was disrespecting the girlfriend,
Mhm.
but I didn't. I don't think I really kind of fully like. He does not like her.
He doesn't. And so the girlfriend says something about how in the beginning she really wasn't feeling him, and then he made her fall in love with her. And I think that that's a thing that he has.
Hmm.
Like he wants to love a woman. He wants a relationship.
Hmm.
And it's not necessarily about let me find the best person for me. It's like let me find somebody.
Hmm.
And that's why it's like that's why they're struggling. You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're not compatible. And the girlfriend, I think, originally saw it, but he was like very persistent. I think he broke her down.
Yeah.
And now he's like, "Oh, I got her, but she's not actually. She's got a life of her own. Oh no, you know."
I know, because I'm like outside of this context, like she seems like cool people. You and Melissa probably wouldn't even get along outside of
Right.
him.
I'm telling you, he needs to be with Rory. And the only reason why I say that is because Rory is also very tunnel vision and he only wants to be with his partner. I know that Alex is not homosexual, but I'm saying like that's the kind of
I
person that
like
he
Rory and the soccer doctor. I
I
like.
do too. I like them together because I think that he's healing something in Rory and allowing Rory to actually have a real relationship. And I think that they should ride off into the sunset. He does not need to be in season 2.
I disagree. But okay, so Alex, how do you think about okay, so the girl that Terrence is initially kind of casually dating that kind of
Mm-hmm.
tries to pigeonhole him into a relationship because I feel like she does.
Mm-hmm.
Because like they're very friends with benefits kind of thing, just starting out, and then she declares them with HR without telling him. She says that they didn't define the relationship, but then she kind of keeps pushing to define it. And then he eventually realizes, okay, she's more serious than I am, and he's starting to really come to terms with his feelings for Mel, and so he pulls out of it. That girl, which I don't, her and Alex might actually work. She
Yeah,
doesn't have a big, strong personality. You know
right.
what I mean? She seems nice, attractive. Her and Alex actually might be a better fit.
Yeah, actually, like he really needs somebody who's more bland, more plain, who
Who
kind
needs
of
to
just
be?
wants to
She
be in a love
also
level with
very
him.
much wants to be in a relationship, and it's just
Right,
really wants to be in a relationship. I actually think, yeah, those two actually, I can see that.
right. Yeah, I don't think that Melissa is right for him. Now, do I think that she should have broken up with him the way that she
At that
did?
moment, right?
No.
No, it was unnecessarily
The
cruel.
way that she broke up with him, the reason why she broke up with him, all of those things were wrong.
Hmm.
But just because that she handled it in the wrong way doesn't mean that they were supposed to be together. Because I don't think that
Hmm.
they were. Not if she is to become the person she says she wants to be.
I think if I think if they had not missed that moment, that period, like I can see them having a lasting relationship, but I think she would have been a very different person.
Yes.
She really would be working at the airport forever in that same job, probably. You know what I mean? Like, she wouldn't have grown, she wouldn't have developed the community, which is some people's life. I don't know if that's,
Yeah.
it's a different life. I'm not going to say that that's a wrong life, but it's a different choice.
Mm-hmm.
I do like this life that she's building better for her, but I just think her life would look really differently if she had chosen that.
Yeah, I agree. The Melissa that exists today could not be in a relationship with Alex.
No, no, absolutely not. Okay.
Do you know what we did not discuss?
What didn't we talk about?
We did not discuss the brother sister conversation at the bar,
Oh,
and I think that warrants a discussion.
okay.
So to backtrack, on Thanksgiving, you find out that, well, actually before Thanksgiving, to backtrack a little bit more, Melissa finds out that her brother is on dating apps and he's married, so that's a big no-no. And so you find out that she starts catfishing him. And on Thanksgiving, she sets up a meetup and meets him. First of all, catfishing your brother is insane.
Mm, yeah. Well, no. Okay. Not her brother. I don't care. And you cheating, so I don't feel anything for you.
I don't know. So like it's like you got enough going on. Do you really have time to
Thing did
catfish
not
your
bother
brother?
me. The catfish and her brother did not bother me. I think the only thing is like taking his social security number. That's the thing that bothered me. But her catfish and her cheating ass brother, I don't care.
So at she confronts him about cheating on his wife at the bar, and I loved that because you know what, a lot of times in families you will know that like your family members are behaving badly and poorly, and you will either not say anything because like, oh, it's none of my business, or like in spite of it you'll still see people support their family members. Like how many moms do you know who support their toxic sons who are cheating on their wives and girlfriends and will cover for them and things like that? And so for her to confront him, I thought it was really great. um how did you feel about the black love conversation?
Girl, I was so annoyed with him. I was so annoyed with him because I don't like that, and I feel like I'm gonna say this. Like I feel like I see this in real life with black men who marry white women but want to cheat with black women.
Hmm.
Like, so that's off the top. That's gonna piss me off because like
Hmm.
you made the choice, stick with your choice.
Right.
I don't agree with cheating anyway, but don't act like something what you were wronged out of this like black love experience that you opted out of.
Right. And
Because
to me, he's like, I love my wife, I love her so much, but it's like but it's basically you're at an event and you have FOMO because there's all they let like create a special place for black couples to dance. You're like, oh no, I'll never have black love.
yeah,
You
and
didn't.
that leads me to going as far as to cheating on your, like starting this whole series of cheating with black women on your wife that you are using to get this
Hmm.
black experience again that you chose not to be a part of.
Yeah, like you did not want black love, and that is fine. You got Sarah love. Enjoy your Sarah love. But
Enjoy
why
yourself.
are you why are you like you said, you're now like using and abusing black women to try to get some little high that you feel like you're missing out on? It was and especially because his wife is really good to him.
She is.
Like she is very caring and very understanding. She, is trying to help him with his mental health and help him with the load that he says he has on him. She's like a good supportive wife. Like she doesn't deserve that.
He's also usury to her. You know what I mean? Like he treats women almost like an object. This is a need that I need to fill this black experience. So I'm just going to take these single black women that are dating that want a relationship and just and insert myself in their life so I get my needs met, knowing that I could never meet theirs. And then you got your
Mhm.
wife at home who is raising your children, doing the house, doing the things that you all agreed to, right?
Mhm.
And you're not being a full partner to her. Even outside of the cheating, you're not being a full partner to her. She's like just this object that you planted in. This is the wife. This is what it looks like. But you're not really communicating with her. You're not opening up to her. You're not letting her into you. You got a whole separate life outside of her.
You're
And this
also
woman,
trying to convince her to have another baby.
Exactly. While you know that you're unhappy. So usury in nature to everyone. So like to me, like men like this, like women are objects. So I put Sarah in my life to fulfill this object role of a wife. And now these black women, now that I want to experience black love, these black women, I'm just going to date them and get this experience that I need to be met. But you're not treating anybody in here like they're a full person.
Yeah. So even though I have empathy for certain aspects of his life, like he's also garbage. And I was like, him trying to justify the cheating was crazy to me.
Right.
It was crazy.
And again, because like again, you're complaining about normal, real world people, stuff.
Right.
Like you know what I mean? Like you doing, yeah, like you're just
It's,
you're
it's it's that's literally what marriage is.
right. Like you're working. She stays at home. What's your issue? You seem like apparently you can afford it. So why are you
Right.
mad?
Yes.
I don't get it. And then if that's no longer working for you, like if it's too much and you need her to go back to work, have a conversation with her.
Right. Because the kids are in school, so she can get like a little PTJ.
Right. Have a conversation with her. At least tell her what in the world you brooding over.
And I honestly don't even think that it's her.
Hmm.
I think that it's the mom putting all that pressure on him and trying to and being his second wife. But
Girl.
instead of putting boundaries in with his mom, he'd rather take it out on his wife.
Yeah. Which is not fair to Sarah.
It's not. Sarah don't deserve that.
Sarah don't deserve that. Um, the black women that he's using don't deserve that. They deserve a fair chance at an actual relationship. And
Right.
I feel nothing for that's I think that's the other part. Like I don't feel bad like with Melissa catfishing him because I'm like she's on the app for single people doing what single people do.
It's not like just
You should be up there.
he shouldn't be up there, but just like having those flirty conversations with your brother is crazy. Like, it's not like she got one of her friends to catfish her brother. She is
Right.
doing it herself. And that is wild to me. That's wild. So I want to make sure that we talk about her travel journey
Mm-hmm.
before the show ends, because once again I started the show thinking the show was all about her traveling,
Mm-hmm.
and she does not get on a plane till I think the last episode.
She does like yeah, dang. She does. It's the build up to the travel.
I know, but once again, it just wasn't what I thought the show was about.
Did I say she was traveling in the show?
I we were talking about like when we were discussing the show. You said, "Well, what do you think the show is about?" I'm like, "I think it's about a lady who's like never traveled before and scared, and like she like takes a leap or something and starts traveling." You're like, "Yeah, that's about right."
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That is not what this show is about.
I'm sorry. I'd be afraid. I'm like, I don't want to ruin the, the premise. My bad. I didn't mean to mislead you. But
But
yeah.
she
But see,
finally gets on the phone.
you have more empathy for the brother than I do. I just don't feel like he's doing as much as he thinks he's doing. Um, and again, like he's not entirely wrong. Melissa does need to get her shit together, and there's some of a part of her that is like kind of refusing to get her shit together. Um, but I also feel like he exasperates, like he makes it a much bigger deal than it actually is.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I do think that he thinks that he's Superman, but he's definitely Clark Kent.
Is he even Clark Kent? Because Clark, I'm sorry, and a
So
good
back to Melissa's airport journey.
okay.
One of the things that I was very happy about was that she decided not to go to Hawaii, because the her plan to go to Alex's wedding,
Was
and
dumb.
it was terrible. No, like here's the thing: your feelings are your feelings, and you are entitled to your feelings. But what you don't get to do is destroy somebody's special day
No,
because
you
you
don't.
have feelings. But
No.
also, you see that man every single day. You look him in the face.
Hmm.
You fly all the way to Hawaii to bust up my wedding. I don't
Hmm.
know that you're leaving. I don't know that you're leaving Hawaii unless you're in a box.
Hmm. Yeah,
It was incredibly selfish,
it was.
incredibly self-centered, and it was, and it to me, it did not make sense for who Melissa is, because one of the issues that she's always had is like, oh, I don't want to take up space. I don't want to take up space. And so once you decide I'm going to put myself first, you're putting yourself first is ruining somebody else's wedding.
Yeah, I think that part is always insane. But I again, and I hate that trope. I'm glad they didn't actually do it. Like they alluded to it, and they didn't actually do it because I hate the breaking up wedding thing. That's my least favorite episode in A Different World. it's when it's when the way everybody's like, "Oh my god, no, it's so romantic." I'm like, I get pissed off every time, and I lightweight feel like she should have married Byron, and I'm gonna move on. But but I'm sorry, I went back. But yeah, I hate that trope. I'm glad they didn't do it.
Yeah, so I was terrified that she was, and I never understood why she planned on going to the wedding either.
No,
Her reasonings did not make sense. She's like, well, I want to put my toes in the sand. Do you know how many places you could put
you
your
know,
toes
but here's
in
the
the
thing
sand?
that points to her plan with these feelings. You know what I mean? Because she wants to go to the wedding. She's still kind of dealing because she's dealing with her feelings with Alex. But then every time anybody asks her, she's like, "Oh no, it's not about him. You going to somebody's wedding is not about them." You know what I mean? Because there's nothing wrong with you going to somebody's wedding for them. That's the whole thing. Like that's what
Right.
it is. But she makes a big deal every single time. Like, oh no, it's not about him. It's about me wanting to travel. Oh no, it's about me needing the vacation. I'm
Hawaii
like, you
is
still playing
so
games.
far away. She could have went to
Mhm.
the Bahamas, Jamaica,
And she better go to
anywhere.
Jamaica, but don't.
It would have been a shorter flight for your first flight. She could have went to
Mhm.
Hilton Head. You want to put your feet in some sand? Like
Right.
that's the
No,
thing.
no.
Like I did not understand. Like I was excited that okay, she's finally going to fly. But when I
Same.
tell you, I would have been turning up on somebody's island, and it wouldn't have been Maui.
Girl. But it would not
I
have been Hawaii. Not
No,
while they
no,
were there.
no. I would have been in Miami. I would have been in Jamaica, most likely. I would have been in St. Thomas, St. Kitts. Like I would be
I
turning
can't,
up.
can't go back to Jamaica. But I would be St. Kitts and Nevis. Girl, there's so many options.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, why are you going to Hawaii? Like
Mm-hmm.
it was like punishing. It
Turks and
was almost like
Caicos.
she was punishing herself.
It was weird. It was weird. It was a real weird energy around that. And again, the dismissal of going to somebody's wedding for them, which is weird. Because again, if you were over him, it wouldn't be a deal to say, "Yeah, I'm going to go support Alex. This is my friend."
I didn't think that she was ever gonna make it to that wedding. Even if she would have
I'm
went to
glad she did.
Hawaii, I didn't think
I'm
she was gonna make
glad
it to
she
the wedding.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't know. Like, no, you don't need to be
Okay.
at somebody else. And it's weird. I don't like the whole thing. Why would you invite exes to weddings anyway? I don't get why people do that in the first place.
I also did not understand why he invited her. I don't understand why he sent her the invitation on her birthday. Unless he was trying to hurt her or get a rise out of her to see where her head was at.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot convince me it is anything else because he tries to make this thing. It's like, oh, we're friends since
Mm-hmm.
we've broken up. But when she calls him on the phone after he gives her the recommendation, he's like, oh my god, I thought you lost my phone number because you never
Right.
called me. Like, which also that conversation on the phone was inappropriate,
Oh, so inappropriate.
very inappropriate. He was calling her Miss Jackson and all of that stuff. Like, but this is the thing. It's like they are not friends. They are exes. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very clear that they are exes. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand why he invited her. And then to not tell his fiance who she was, until way later,
Mm-hmm.
garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Garbage. But I was so instead of going to Hawaii, she ends up going like on a kind of like an airport hopping tour. She goes to Charlotte. from Charlotte. She goes to Chicago, and she has a time in Chicago. She
Mm-hmm.
like sees the sights. She goes and she visits like Elise's favorite restaurant, and she ends up meeting someone who actually knew Elise. Did you think that it was weird that she confessed the credit card
Yes,
fraud to him?
yes, I thought that was so weird. I was like, why would you confess? Why did you feel like you needed to confess that? You didn't need to confess that.
You don't know this man from Adam. Why? And he knows Elise and loved her. Why
Mm-hmm.
would you tell this man that you stole her credit card and took yourself on a lavish vacation?
Girl, it was so weird. You don't, yeah, it was so weird. Or why she
Melissa,
confesses her crimes all the time. Like
I'm telling you, Melissa makes decisions that I do not understand.
no, I
Even at
don't.
that point in the show where she's experienced so much growth, she
Mm-hmm.
still would come out and do some wild stuff where I'm like, girl, I'm rooting for you.
Mm-hmm.
We are friends in my head. But some of the stuff you do, you can't make it to the inner sanctum. You're gonna have to be on the outside because you are just unpredictable. You are
Mm-hmm.
wild.
She do be wilding.
So she did the what's it called? The penguin swim or penguin
Yeah,
dive.
dive or something like that. Yeah.
Where
Cold
she
plunge.
jumps into the water. Yeah, she does like a cold plunge. I don't know. I was thinking, I'm like, man, maybe before I die, at least once. I just think it would like that's like a once in a lifetime experience.
Okay. I don't see a point in doing that, but if you do it, I'll do it with you.
Yeah, I just think like it's sometimes you do stuff for the plot. You just do stuff
Yeah.
just
Hey,
so you can always say that you did. And I'm
mm-hmm.
like, I think I need to do that before I die.
Okay.
So we'll make a plan.
Well, hey, I'm down like 4 flat tires. You know I love Chicago.
Right. So the beautiful thing about her trip is that she's like posting it on social media, sending text messages to her friends, and
I love to get my friends' reactions.
yes, everyone is like seeing her, and they're so happy for her. Even her mom's reaction is, "Oh, I guess I'm not gonna get my Hawaiian coffee." But
Mm-hmm.
you know, her mom is a big hater. Everybody else seems to be really, really, really excited.
Rory, your least favorite person, was still excited for
Yeah,
her bingo.
yeah,
And he tries to talk her out of going to the wedding, which
he
I think
does.
was the right thing in that moment.
Yes, I do think that the best advice and the only good advice he's ever given her was, yes, we all want you to take a flight, but it does not have to be this one.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I think in that moment he was right, but so is a broken clock twice a day. So,
Point out he is right.
if Rory has one hater, it's me. If he
I
has no
said,
haters, R.I.P. me. So she ends up having like this beautiful, and you see everybody so excited, about her, except for her mom. And so she heads back home, and she like on the way on her trip home, she meets someone who works her same position at a different airport, and she tells her that she met somebody on the trip, and the lady asks who it was, and she says, "I met me."
mm-hmm. Absolutely.
How did that moment make you feel?
Oh, I love that moment. I love that whole interaction between the two of them and her again. Like, okay, she's received so much from her community, and she pours out into someone who needs a little bit extra confidence, to take it to the next step. Her acknowledging that she met herself, but she's not all the way there yet because none of us ever are. I love that. I loved everything about that.
One
That
of
was
the things like that she's been saying throughout the show is no one knows the real me. No one
mhm.
knows the real me, and how she doesn't feel seen. And
Mm.
so it's like for her to say, "I met me," and I'm like, okay, now at least you know
No, you
who
right,
you are.
and
Like,
and maybe that answers your earlier question as to why nobody knows the real her because she didn't know the real
hmm yeah. And so that moment was really beautiful. It was really touching. And now
her.
I want to talk about the last crazy thing that
Okay,
she does.
okay.
Once again, it's another Melissa. What are you doing? Melissa decides to leave her brother a voicemail because she's very excited that she gets her settle. She gets a settlement from the furniture company that injures
Mhm.
her, and so she gets $17,000, which I don't think is enough money, but that's neither here nor there. She was excited about it, but I'm like, I'm gonna need a zero, one more, at
Mhm.
least one more zero. That doesn't even cover her medical bills. But anyway, she's so excited. She calls her brother and she leaves him a voicemail saying, "Hey, like I got some money from the furniture company, and so now I can take care of myself." Which also $17,000 is not enough money to take care of yourself. But if you feel like it, hey, she's like, "I'm no longer one of your kids." And then she says, "You won't have a third child unless you keep cheating on your wife." And then
Girl,
she
why
calls
would
some
you
other
record that?
that don't matter and says, "Bye, love you." He listens to the voicemail in front of his wife and children,
And
playing
kid.
it through the car, which also is a weird choice.
It is
You
a
know
weird
what I mean?
choice when
But
you
he
know you're
did,
cheating. To you know what I mean? Like you think you would just be a little bit more cautious about your phone.
especially
Um,
because you know your sister knows you're cheating.
right.
But also,
And
why
Melissa
would
is not. Melissa strikes me hard as the do not put on speaker friend. She's a do not put on speaker friend. Like you should know that.
definitely, definitely. But I was like, why would you leave
Why
that
would you do that?
his
Why
voice?
would
Because
because
even if he did not play it on speakerphone, what if the wife was checking his voicemail for whatever reason?
mm-hmm.
I don't under like. I
that,
once
that
again,
was crazy. Like yeah.
Melissa, I love you, and I'm trying to be your friend, but the choices you make it so hard.
hmm Yeah, that was a rough one. That was a rough one. That was crazy work, and but that's also the reason why I think the brother is the one who turned her in.
So yeah, so I was going to talk about the ending. So the ending of season one, Melissa gets off of the airplane, and Terrence is there to meet her. And they were just about to have like this beautiful hug.
Moments.
And right before they can hug each other,
Yeah.
she's tackled by security, placed into handcuffs, and she's charged for like credit card fraud and grand larceny and identity theft and forgery, all of those things because she stole Elise's credit card. And so
Mhm.
I had asked you earlier, who did you think snitched on her? And you said you think it was her brother. So I'm like, well, maybe it was the man at the restaurant, even though he said that he wasn't. Old people like to call the police though.
No, he's not that kind of old person that would. He's not like he's he. I don't think even if she hadn't asked him, I still don't think that he would have really called the police. I think he was just pushing a little back a little bit. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was a brother because it was credit card fraud and identity theft. She also stole his identity, and she also told the brother that she stole the Elisa's credit card. So
She
he
did.
knew all of that, and he does like to see her fail.
He does. He
I
does.
I think the brother has more of a motivation than the guy at the thing at the diner. Because what's he gonna get out of it? At least ain't got no kids. At least ain't got no family. Nobody's gonna have to pay that bill. You know, it just. I don't think he did it. I think it's the brother.
So do you think he told the police in retaliation for the voicemail that she left? Now, knowing that when she left this voicemail, she
Mhm.
was not in talking about his cheating. She wasn't trying to be malicious.
No,
She was, and she was actually trying to be lighthearted and funny. You know what I mean? Like, yes, it was very careless.
the
It
brother
was
is a hater.
careless.
It's very clear the brother's a hater. He wants. He says he wants her to come up, but I don't feel it doesn't feel genuine to me from him. I think he enjoys seeing her being a failure. Like there are certain situations, like if he's trying to get his identity back. You know what I mean? The fact that she stole it. There are certain situations where, like your insurance company or the thing won't unless you prosecute. Like if you say I'm not going to prosecute this person, they won't, go into the recovery. But I feel like if that was the situation, he would have prepared her for that.
But here's the thing: there's no need to go into recovery. She's not taking money. He's just a guarantor on her loan. Now, it may affect his credit,
It affects his
but
credit, whether or not he can get another loan. We don't know what he's trying to do. But either way, I'm saying the only way that like it's legitimate, he had no choice but to do it to me would have been that kind of situation that I just described that is not going on. And you would have prepared somebody for that. Like, hey, they're saying I can't get my identity back. I gotta get my identity back for this reason. And I can't unless
right.
it feels more malicious and I think it was because of the voicemail.
Which is terrible because he was the one that was cheating, and
Mhm.
that voicemail was not like made with malicious intent. And why would you want your sibling to go to jail?
Both Mel and her brother have an issue with accountability. Both of them talk about everything like it just happens to them and like
Mhm.
they're not active participants in their life. The same thing, like when he talks about the cheating, it was like, well, I got so much pressure on me. What am I supposed to do? Blah, blah, blah. I know it's not going to fix it, but you're choosing to cheat anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, like, so yeah, no, he doesn't really take any accountability for the cheating. But yeah,
And so here's the thing.
please.
Although I was super upset to see Mel get arrested and in handcuffs, like, does she deserve it? Because she did steal that woman's credit card.
I don't want to see her go to jail. I just really
I
don't.
don't either, but like, she did a crime.
Mm-hmm.
So is going to jail part of her growth arc?
Hmm. I don't know. I don't want her to go to jail. And I mean, how we go? We need a season 2. How we go if she in jail? She can't be in jail all season 2.
It'd be a very interesting season.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so that was literally like like her getting arrested was literally like the last moment of the
Mm-hmm.
last episode. So let's talk season 2 and questions that we hope get answered.
Okay. I want to know more backstory on the father and what he did to be such a terrible person. That's one of the main. Yeah, just always context. I would also want to dive more into some of the characters, which I think usually happens in season 2 anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I want to know if she's gonna go to jail. What's gonna happen to her after she gets arrested?
I want to know if Alex married that girl. I'm not sure he did.
Oh, he definitely did.
I don't know.
He
I
married.
don't know that he did. I don't know that he did.
He married her.
And I hope that he didn't, honestly, because she deserves better.
For her sake, I hope he didn't. But like, and it's so much. You got all the family in Hawaii, all that. Like, he did it, and she probably did it too. I don't know if they're gonna stay together though.
I also want to know, like, what's going to happen with Brian and Sarah. Like, is she going to leave him because she finds out that he's cheating?
I'm sorry.
Is she pregnant already?
I hope she's not pregnant already. I hope she's not pregnant already because yeah, is she gonna leave him? No.
You don't
But
think
yeah,
so?
that's a question to be answered. But I don't think she's gonna leave him.
And so, like, in order to work at the airport, you have to have security clearance.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is getting
Ooh.
arrested? I think you have to have a certain level of security clearance, right? You usually have to run a background check and
They definitely
fingerprints.
have to do a background check. I don't know. I would have thought that would have been more like TSA specific, like those type of jobs.
Hmm.
But who knows?
I wonder if her getting arrested is going to derail her upward trajectory.
Oh goodness. Well, I mean, it's got to in some way. But we'll
Hmm.
see how that looks, how that plays out. Yeah.
Hmm. I wonder if they're going to explore her reconciling with Rory next year. I personally don't need it. And I hope
I would love
that
it.
her reconciling with Rory does not stop her from continuing to build and
Oh no.
enhance her
And I
community.
don't think so either. I don't think it would. But like, yeah, I definitely want to see where does their relationship go from here, her and Rory.
Hmm.
Okay.
Don't have any other things. Do you have any unanswered questions?
No, I think that's it. I think we kind of, yeah.
So yeah, this was it was a great show. I
Yes.
know I had my reservations in the beginning because it was not what I expected.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm actually really grateful that I watched it. I felt
Oh,
like it brought some things to the surface that I think I'm going to talk to my therapist about.
yeah.
Um,
Okay.
you
Well, that's
know,
good. Hey.
or like, which is like it's a good thing. You know, I think
Well,
that it's important. I'm like, oh, okay. You know what? I have some things I need to process out. So that's interesting. But it was an enjoyable ride, and I did not know at the time that I finished watching it that there was going to be a season 2. So I was like a little heartbroken. I'm like, I need closure. Is
Mhm.
she going to get with Terrence? Did Alex marry that woman? What's going to happen with Brian and Sarah? So now I have an opportunity to find out. That's very, very exciting for me.
Absolutely.
So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this series.
I'm ready for the next episode. Can't wait to get home and turn my TV on. I'm ready for the next episode. Got my flash shoes off, my remote control. I'm ready for the next episode.